Welcome to the UIUX design training, and from this course you will learn what UIUX design is itself. You will learn how to wireframe, how to prototype. You also learn how to design website, apps, dashboards, and even how to create a portfolio, UIUX design portfolio on your. So to understand what UIUX design really is, I like to take these two terms, UI and UX, separately. So, UI actually stands for user interface, and it refers to the visual elements through which users interact with a product. This includes buttons, icons, typography, color schemes, and layout. So now, what are we talking about in the sense of UI, your aim of UI, user interface? Sometimes have you actually been through a website or probably an app, and then you will see the design? Of course, you like the design of the app, and then you will, and what usually consists of those designs are probably the way the background, the layout is, the way the buttons are, the typography. Maybe it's actually your favorite font, and maybe the color scheme is actually your favorite color, and it's also like according to the same brand, and it's not something that is actually like I can say it like wounding your eyes or it's hurting your eyes. So now this UI can actually, now we're actually basing on digital things here like website apps, and then this UI UX can also be used for visual products as well. Like if you take probably the bottle, probably a bottle of let me just say a bottle of ketchup, it can be used for other things. But in this course, it's actually meant for me teaching you how you can actually use UI UX in the digital aspect, that is creating websites, apps, and so on. So although all this you will still understand this more as I continue this video. And then let's take a look at what UX is. UX, if you get right, it actually stands for user experience, and it encompasses the overall experience a user has while interacting with a product. This includes ease of use, functionality, and satisfaction. So, what is actually the use of a product or a website or an app? If, of course, it has beautiful design is captivating, but then it doesn't have this functionality. Probably when you press the button is not even going anywhere. Maybe when you press the button of an app or the button of the website, it's not going anywhere, just like staying at that particular position. So at that moment, you would actually even ignore the way it looks and even be very frustrated. So for example, let's even look at it. We might have all experienced this. Let's just say you there is actually this food that looks very good. It smelled nice, but then it's something that you really crave. But then when you take the first bite of that food, you hated it so much. So what am I trying to bring out here? So the look of that food is just like the UI, and then while the experience that you had with that food when you tasted it is actually the UX. That is your experience that you had with that food. But now talking about a digital sense like a website or an app. So you might actually come across some website that the UI will like look very amazing, but when you want to start operating it, you'll be very frustrated. And at the end, the owner of that website might actually get start losing lots of users. So let's now take a look of the main difference of this UI and UX. We've now come to know that UI means user interface and UX means user experience. So I think I think before that let me actually show you. Okay, now I'll actually get to that. But then let's just look at UI versus UX difference. So the differences are here on the screen. UI, the user interface, it focuses on the visual appearance and interactivity of a product, while the user experience, it focuses on the user's overall interaction with the product, service, or brand. So this user interface and user experience are things that can actually go well together because now this is the difference between these two now. The user interface deals with the appearance, the looks, or the look of how a product or a website, the app is, and then user experience. Also, user experience it just talks about how you use how the app is actually easy to use. And then if I actually forgot to say this, UI UX is mainly used for websites, apps, dashboards. It can even be used to create games. Yeah, it can be used to create games. So it also includes elements like buttons, icons, menus, and the overall layout. We all know what button is. Okay, yeah, a button is just like a call to action that you use to get into another part of probably a website or you use to carry out an action. And then the icons are just like signing mini pictures or vectors that can actually use to explain what a particular part of a design is. And then this layout is actually just like the structure of the design. So these are what user interface talks about. Someone can actually be a user interface designer alone, and people you can actually be a user experience designer alone. User interface, you just need to work with the design. And then let's see the another difference of that user experience. While the user interface focus on buttons, icons, menus, um, user experience considers the user's emotions, needs, and satisfaction throughout the interaction. So, um, yeah. So this user experience is just like you are going to show empathy. So what first of all you need to know who your users are. Show empathy in a sense that you need to consider their emotions, their needs, their satisfaction, what they actually need that website to be, how like they are going to use it. Let's say you are actually building a actually designing a website or app that is it's used to make a phone call, although you see the example here. And then you know how a phone call is, right? So that app you receive a a button that shows pick the call or a button that shows decline the call. Let's just say okay, although I'll still get to that though, or let's still move to the next one. because I've actually put some examples of designs here that you get to see what I'm actually talking about by itself. So use UI designers are concerned with making the products look appealing and easy to use. So this place you can't let's just say you are going through a website and then you are seeing um something like this. Okay, although I'll still get to something like this. So let's just say you are seeing that one that is actually like yellow and red. It's actually going to you know, affect your eyes, something like that. So it does not look too appealing. In fact, even those colors can even affect someone that is even colorblind. So you just need to make it look appealing. Of course, you have to make it look good. And then that UI UX designer, user experience designer, aim to create a positive and enjoyable experience for the user. If you use some apps and then you feel like, yeah, this app is actually worth my time. You will use it and then you'll be satisfied by actually by what it gives you. And UI is about the what of the interface, ensuring it's visually appealing and it's visually pleasing and functional. So what of the interface? How who are actually my audience? How would they actually feel about this color? Because there are actually sometimes that regions can actually affect the way you choose colors or fonts for a particular digital product. Yeah. For example, let's just say Japanese. For a Japanese website, it's not very recommendable that you use black to design their website or maybe their app. Why? Because Japanese they view black as superstitious. They view black as bad luck and stuff like that. So let's just say you are now designing a website for someone that is Japanese and you are putting black, even though the website looks very good, it's a turn down. And then why there are actually some people that do love black a lot, you will even be seeing like dark themed website and stuff like that. So what of the interface? What you need to do to actually make it look good. Then the user experience UX is about the why of the experience, ensuring it's meaningful and engaging for the user. Then you be like, let's just say you have actually having 50 users for an app before, and then by the next month it declines to 15 users. You be like, why? And then that can actually move you to do um some things that this user experience consists of. And then yeah, let me actually mention something that this um user experience consists of. User experience consists of user research, um knowing the usability of the product, and that user research, although I'm still going to explain it in the next video and ways you can actually conduct a user research. So user experience, sorry I forgot to put it in the slide. User experience, you need to know the you need to have a skill of researching about your users, what they like and so on. User experience, you need to be problem solving for for UX, you also need the usability, the way your users uses product. Although I'm still going to come about all of it in the next class. So then I want us to take a look at some visual designs, some a user interface part, and then let me show you this. This was actually a design I made for um, one of my clients. So this one that you see by your um, palette, this one that you see by your palette was their previous design, and now this is actual, and the one in the middle is now their actual design. So then I want you to look at the one at the middle and the last one. They're actually the same thing, right? But you can see the color difference. So if I were to give you this one by the this one at the middle, this one at the middle, and this one that is and this one that is by the far right, far right, which one would you say it's actually okay or better? So if you choose the middle one, you are very correct. But why isn't this one by the far right good? Why isn't it good? Because let's look at red this red section here. It You can't really see what was actually written in this place because of the red section. And then this yellow, and this red is actually something that can affect your eyes. So immediately the user can see it, and it's not even supporting the logo. If you can see the logo up here, it has blue, and I think that was navy blue. That's It was not a complete dark color, it was navy blue. So see, it's not supporting it, it's like going against it, because how does um yellow and red get into this? And again, although I'll keep repeating this that I'm about to say in most of the classes, if you are to design a website or an app, you will need to make use mostly of the color of the logo. Although some companies might actually provide you with a common brand, which might not even be included in the logo. You might actually have something that is called the brand book, in which each big company has. So they will have their color schemes, the type of fonts that they use. They can even put some suggested icons that can be used as well. So because, for example, for this website right here, before I could redesign it, it was actually about microbiome. So microbiome was so this microbiome actually needs to do a lot of study. Actually need to do a lot of study on it about this microbiome. So in which I don't really know much about it before. So what I'm just trying to say is that you need to do a lot of research which encompasses of the UX part as well. So you need to do a lot of research when you are trying to know, because it was actually because of that research that I do that I was able to find icons, I was able to make content that actually befit what the redesign would be about. So let's look at the next slide. Now I want us to take a look at this Now I was actually talking about a phone call earlier, the user experience of a phone call. So this is actually it. So I didn't wanted to like spill the beans right here. So this is it now. So you can, as you can see here, this is a phone call. Now let's just say someone calls you. Which one do you think out of the user experience? User experience is how the user uses a product, your website, yeah. So if you have to look at these two um phone call, they are actually the same app. They are the same app. But then if I should ask you which one would be very easy to make use of, this one with pink color as the background is A, this one with is it blue? I think sky blue color is B. So out of this, which one would you think would be easier to use, A or B? I'm going to give you some seconds. So I think you might have actually picked the answer. So if you picked the one by the right, that is B, you are very correct. Why? Because look at this first one, the one by the left. It's having decline and accept the call at the same place. Before you are able to carry out everything, the person that is calling you might have actually it might have actually run finish and you won't be able to pick the call again. Or while you are doing it, it's actually possible that you might mistakenly decline the call. So this is very much not advisable. I mean, let me use something as an example for me. While people do play games with lots of like COD, Free Fire. So those games they do have lots of buttons, and although people know how to make to play them a lot, but me personally, I'm a type of guy that just like simple, easy games that you don't really, because as I'm looking at all those buttons of those games and apps, it's it's usually like how can I say it, scatter my eyes. I don't like know which one to press at that moment because the buttons are too much. Now let's just say it is now that type of usability, that type of user experience is now something that should be used in a simple app like this, like a phone call app. It would be very hard for someone to actually make use of it. Because now you can actually see here the buttons are not much. There is call, there is decline. It's showing the person that is calling you. It's showing whether you can message the person. It's showing its icon that is showing to set reminder. And here this where I'm going to bring the icon for you and the picture and the color scheme. Let's say this green of this accept button is not there, and this red of this decline button is not there. Can I say you would actually know which one to pick? Of course not, because you be like, let's just say both of them they actually add the same color. You won't know which one to pick. So you all know that that red is actually like a symbol of you don't want to accept the call, and this green is to accept the call. So when you know these color schemes and what they mean, what each color means, you'll be able to create your app very well. But let's say someone just decided to do I don't know. He said no, I don't want to do like all this remaining, and decided to put purple in exchange of this accept and of this accept button, and then um let me say blue in accept of this decline. Someone that is using it would not really know what to press. Why? because the colors are not actually explaining what to do. Because even if this accepts and if this accept and decline text were not written under it, if you were only to see this as if you were only to see the two icons and buttons, you already know what to do. Am I right? Of course. And then this where this icon, the use of icon two comes in. See this um icon that shows like a messaging, let me just say a messaging icon. You already know what it is, and you know that yes, this icon is actually used to send the person a message. This icon that has the message and messaging button, you know that it actually to send the person a message. So without even writing anything on that, you know what it's used for. That is what icon to. That is where the good things of icon comes in. So you can see bad user experience, and then this one is actually good user experience. Now, the reason why you joined this class, you wanted to be a UI/UX designer, right? So the skills that each UI/UX designer will need, you need to have. And note, if you don't have any of these skills yet, that's still good to go. Why? Because in this course, you will also you will also gain these experiences, of course. So you will need to know how to utilize graphic design. You need to be problems. We all know what graphic design is, right? Yeah, you need to be problem solving. So that problem solving, just like it's mainly based on that user experience, and also it also deals with that UI as well, because you might actually be wondering if that was actually the reason why my users are not really converting, or why are they not using this app very much again. That's where that problem solving comes in. And then wireframing, I'll still talk much about wireframing, but keep this in mind. Wireframing is just like the skeleton of a website or an app, just like the skeleton. And then this prototyping is just like um how can I put it? That prototyping is just like you will need to it's just like the functionality of the app. You need you need to create the functionality of the app. While most people focus don't really know much about prototyping, I'm going to teach you as well. So empathy, consider your users' emotions, how your users feel about viewing a particular color, viewing a particular icon, or probably the font, um, and so many other things. And then this user research, you need to know who your users are. Let's say you're actually designing a food delivery app, and then you now make it design it in a way that only that are mostly developers will understand. Those that are trying to order food, they will they understand what at all. So you need to know who your users are. And then proficiency in design tools. Design tools are design tools that you will need, that every UI/UX designer will need. Please jot it down. You will need Figma, Figjam. Figma and Figjam, they're actually in the same URL. And they're actually in the same site. Let me that. They're actually in the same site. If you are to search for figma.com, you will also see Figjam. Figma and Figjam, they are together. And then okay, let me mention the ones that are mainly used for UI now. For UI, you can need Figma. Figma is the like most popular design tool for UI. So you need Figma, you'll need Sketch, um Adobe XD, Adobe XD, and then some people also some people too can also use other designers. Then why for UX design, UX to do research to and to know who your users are and so on. You will need, and then yeah, I forgot to mention this UX also consists of creating surveys. Yeah, creating surveys to know what your user actually wants of that app. Mm, yeah. So for you to so for the UX you will need FigJam, which is together with Figma. FigJam, you can need Miro as well. So those are just the tools that you can use. But then Figma, the reason why people use Figma mostly is because it has a free version that each UI designers can use. So the design process of UI and UX. Make research to understand who your users are and what are their needs or pain points. This sentence consists of having empathy and also making user research. It's also possible that you can also conduct surveys too. In that user research to also make it in a way that in the next class I'll also teach you how you can also make user research and create surveys, survey form. So you need to make research to understand who your users are and what do your user need. So what can I use as an example here? I think can I see, okay, let me use that food delivery app. The food delivery app, let me say it deals with the person that is going to deliver it. Your users are the person that is going to deliver it and people who are going to order the food. And it can also deal with the restaurant owners as well. So for you to know the person, for people, for the people that are going to like need the app to actually purchase food, it will not now be okay to start putting lots of um things that you can do in that app, but instead it's going to be okay just for you to put, just like you can only use a call to action button, you can just use a button that order your food now. Let's just now say you are putting order your food now, you are putting um learn more about this, you are putting like lots of buttons, they won't even know where to go. So all these things you will still understand it in as you continue this class, and then define their needs by using workflows and present the process. This is where FigJam and Miro comes in. So you need to know the process of even creating or of even designing the app, and then create wireframes and prototypes. You can actually start with creating wireframes by like designing, creating wireframes. You can do it on a paper or on your laptop, or if you might actually feel like yes, this design is actually coming to mind right now and your laptop is not with you, you can just sketch the skeleton, the wireframe on the paper. So and then these prototypes, you will also know how to create prototypes and then conduct feasibility test. This is where you can actually give it to your friends or select some few users to use that product, and then when they use it and you see that they are fully satisfied, then you can hand off to development, and then developers will now take over. So thank you very much. This is where we're going to end the class today. So what have we learned so far? We've actually learned what UI and UX design means. We've seen how we can actually make UI and how we can actually make our websites or apps to be good for users. We've also seen um we've also seen the ways we have also seen ways colors, typographies, icons should be used. And then so this is where we've come to the end. So next class we'll be talking about user research. Thank you for calling us.